Hey, I know it isn't easy to face, looking at our wounds, especially the ones that are tied to our earliest relationships. It can feel overwhelming. It's like opening a door to a room that we've spent so many years trying to keep locked. You see, trauma, and yes, you have some of it too, it's a subconscious prison that we all build to keep us safe from unstable connections, usually related to our parents or early childhood experiences, or maybe even things that have happened in the recent past. But trauma doesn't disappear. It follows us, quietly shaping how we interact with the world every time we come into a conflict. It's how we deal with fear and even how we respond to love itself. And no matter how much we try to suppress that trauma, if we don't deal with it, if we don't heal it, it tends to surface, especially to those that we're closest with. Friends, family, loved ones, anyone who gets close enough to us to be vulnerable. Because after all, vulnerability is our biggest fear. It's scary when that happens. When an argument flares up and you suddenly feel abandoned or unheard or out of control, these patterns, they hit like lightning. But I want you to know that that's not a sign that you're broken or you're doomed to repeat that behavior over and over again. It's actually an invitation. It's an opportunity to recognize those patterns and to start to change them. Is it really, after all, about you not taking out the garbage? Or is it about feeling not worthy from somewhere in your past? Maybe you had trouble with homework as a kid, or today you show up late to every appointment. I don't know, but chances are these things are actually linked back in some way to a moment in time that you haven't released or dealt with. All relationships, they need to be built on trust and mutual respect. If they are, you gain something powerful from them. They're a mirror. You see, that person that you're engaging with, even without trying, will reflect back to you the love you have in your own soul. But if you don't, they're also a mirror of your intolerance, of your lack of compassion, or maybe even your self-centeredness. That's why relationships are so challenging. They show us what's unfinished within ourselves, but they also offer something extraordinary. They offer us the chance to rewrite those patterns and to make new choices, to grow into a stronger, more whole version of ourselves. Now, you don't have to apply this only to intimate or to family relationships either. It could be people at work, or strangers, random encounters. Growth doesn't have to wait for someone to be permanently in your life. But we have to know. A good therapist, a trusted friend, or even quiet self-reflection on these things can help you to uncover things about yourself that you just don't see. But I will say this, when you do enter any kind of relationship again, know this, that every conflict, every uncomfortable moment, it isn't just something you need to survive or ignore. It's an opportunity to respond differently this time. You see, healing, it doesn't happen by pretending that everything's fine or pushing the old wounds back down. It happens when you actively create change. When you face those old fears, those patterns, and you choose consciously something healthier. When you choose again. We've all had challenging relationships. And what did we do? We took our toys and we walked away feeling like we just couldn't get it right, and maybe we never would. I want you to know something. Those experiences, they weren't wasted. Every heartbreak, every misstep, every lesson, it taught you what not to accept. But not from them, from yourself. They revealed the parts of you that needed love, that needed patience, and that needed attention. But those things, my friend, they're not external. They're an inside job. And no one in this world is more qualified than you for that job. And when you take it, when you choose to reparent yourself, to remarry yourself, to become your new best friend, to become that shining light that you are. Trust that the hard work that you do, it will start to bloom. Because when you start having a loving, caring, nurturing relationship with yourself, healing doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. So I want you to be kind to yourself. Growth, it's not linear. You can't chart it or check boxes off. It's not a to-do list, and it's not always graceful. So be messy. Finger paint. After all, every master started as a disaster. And I promise you this, my wonderful friend, that every time you face those wounds with understanding and not blame, you're taking a step closer to the person that you were meant to be. The person that this world so desperately needs. So keep going, be brave, love yourself. You are doing so much better than you think. You are strong, you are growing, and you are loved. Be an artist, my friend. I love you.